So many politicians build their wealth after getting to high office, but for Stacey Abrams, the reverse is the case. Stacey Abrams is a female African-American politician who's made a big name in politics. She's the first female and first African-American woman to hold political positions in America's state and national politics. And aside from being an influential politician, Stacey Abrams is also an author who writes romance and thriller novels under the pen Selena Montgomery. Terrific, right? But many people don't know Stacey built her wealth while serving in political positions, unlike her contemporaries, who already had big bucks sitting in their bank accounts before joining politics. So, this made us curious as to how she made her money in politics. And if you're curious about that too, stick with us till the very end of this video, as we'll talk about her background, political journey, net worth, and most importantly, the allegations made against her newly propounded wealth. So, let's dive right in. Background: Stacey Abrams' full name is Stacey Yvonne Abrams. She was born on December 9, 1973 in Madison, Wisconsin, to a librarian mother and a dockworker father. However, her family moved to Gulfport, Mississippi, where she was raised until middle school. She was in high school when her family finally relocated to Atlanta, Georgia. As the second oldest of 6 children, her parents trained them on 3 mantras: go to school, go to church, and take care of each other. This mantra shaped Stacey's educational career as she graduated as Georgia's first black valedictorian from Avondale High School in DeKalb County. Stacey's political activism started when she was a college student in 1992. Stacey went to an all-women's school, HBCU Spelman College in Atlanta, where she graduated magna cum laude and received a BA in interdisciplinary studies, political sciences, economics, and sociology. She led the protest against the Rodney King verdict and co-founded the Students for African American Empowerment. She was also named a Harry S. Truman Scholar, a scholarship given to a few public service-oriented students each year. Abrams' education did not end with her BA. She holds a Master's of Public Administration from the University of Texas at Austin and a Juris Doctorate from Yale University. She's a lawyer, American politician, voting rights activist, and a renowned political books author. Abrams has received notable awards such as the Georgia Legislative Service Award, Democratic Legislator of the Year, Environmental Leaders Award, and others. How it started. Stacey Abrams returned to Atlanta as a tax consultant in 2002. This position gave her the very first push into politics, and by age 29, she became Atlanta's deputy city attorney. As the first black female minority of the Georgia House of Representatives, she started her political career in 2011 by running for the 89th District of the Georgia House of Representatives. In 2013, she founded a voter registration nonprofit called the New Georgia Project, which helped complete 86,000 new voter registration applications, many of which were from voters of color. In 2018, Stacey made a bid to contest the gubernatorial election in Georgia. Although her bold political move was applauded by many, she was ridiculed because of her bad debt record. She was said to have owed the IRS $54,000, a student loan of $96,000, and a credit card debt of $83,000. And the Republicans questioned her capacity to handle and manage the state budget when she couldn't manage hers. Unfortunately for Abrams, she lost the election to the National Republican Party candidate Kemp. According to her, she lost due to fewer votes and voters being suppressed without considering their voting rights. This brought about the existence of her voting rights group, Fair Right Action. In response to criticism of her financial situation, she stated in her book, Minority Leader, that she took out loans when her knowledge of personal finance was rudimentary. But how did Stacey Abrams pay off a whopping sum of $233,000? According to news sources, Stacey paid off her debt by stepping up her writing career and releasing a nonfiction book titled Minority Leader, which the publisher had paid $150,000 in advance. She also received millions of dollars in cash donations from campaigns. By the end of 2019, Stacey was able to clear all her debts and loans. How did Stacey Abrams build her reputation? Stacey became the icon she is now when she ran for Georgia's gubernatorial election in 2018. While she lost by about 55,000 votes, her candidacy was historic in its own right. When she won the Democratic primary for governor, she became the first African-American woman to be nominated by a major party. It's also interesting to note that Stacey only held one political position while serving as the minority leader of the Georgia House of Representatives before she became the nation's face of African-American politics. But here's a list of things she did to move, or let's say upgrade, to her current millionaire status. She's written more than 10 successful books, a few being bestsellers on Amazon and New York Times. She's among the best-selling political authors with over 500,000 copies sold. Abrams is also CEO of a legal consulting firm that acts for clients, including Atlanta's Women's National Basketball Association. She owns great investments in the stock market and has received significant donations in businesses from notable companies, corporations, and private businesses. Stacey is also a board member of Heliogen, a California company that uses solar to produce heat for industrial processes, generate electricity, and hydrogen fuel production. According to CBS News, she's reported to have at least $65,000 in Heliogen's stock. She was a potential running mate to President Joe Biden, and her campaign spokesperson, Seth Brinkman, stated that Stacey gave 37 paid speeches in 2021, alongside a 12-stop fall tour of standalone appearances. Several of her lectures influenced Republican-led voting centers established after the 2020 election, which she also referred to as voter suppression. She also earned more than $700,000 over 3 years as executive director of the Southern Economic Advancement Project, a corporation that aims at enhancing economic equity in the South. What is the net worth of Stacey Abrams? What's the income source of Stacey Abrams? We all know it's almost impossible to say someone's total assets and how much he or she earns every month. So what was the net worth of Stacey Abrams? Despite not coming from a wealthy family, Stacey has a whopping sum of money in her account, and she acquired this wealth by working hard and smart. But her sudden millionaire status led to the opposing party accusing her of using her political campaigns to build wealth for herself, and in her reply to the accusation, Stacey said, and we quote, "It's obvious to me that Republicans are now demonizing success. I believe in achievement. Everyone should be given a chance to succeed, and since I had 3 years to use up in the private sector, I made the most of them. Throughout that period, I did all in my power to aid Georgians while also doing my best to succeed." Stacey Abrams' exact net worth still needs to be determined, as there are varying reports. But she is sure worth over $3 million. Too much money for someone that's held just one political office, right? But the most shocking part is that her net worth rose from a meager $109,000 to a whopping $3.6 million in less than 4 years after her loss at the gubernatorial election. In her recent financial statement, Abrams said she had roughly $320,000 in cash and $1.8 million in real estate holdings, most of which was a $1.2 million home she purchased before the 2020 general election. The luxury house is a 7,000-square-foot home in her hometown, Atlanta, Georgia. It has many amenities, like a bowling alley, tennis court, wine cellar, 2 swimming pools, 8 bedrooms, 9 bathrooms, and a yoga studio. She also has a second home she purchased for her parents in Stone Mountain. She reported earning more than $1.5 million from the Harry Walker Agency, an elite booking firm, over the last 3 years. And the Lowenthal Company, a full-service literary agency, has paid her more than $3.5 million for books she's written or is about to publish since 2019. She received $700,000 between 2019 and 2021 from the Roosevelt Institute and a liberal New York think tank when she worked for the organization as the executive director of the Southern Economic Advancement Project, which she founded. Her investment portfolio accounts for 22% of her total net worth, as she owns lucrative stocks in Verizon, Google, Caterpillar, and other big companies. Her voting rights organization, Fair Fight PAC, raised more than $100 million, but her earnings from the organization and her business income were not reported, and that area is still sketchy to date. She also received numerous cash donations while in office. It's speculated that Wall Street gave her over $2 million and she got over $1 million from wealthy business people who wanted to get certain favors from her. The Associated Press stated that Stacey Abrams was currently 3,000% richer than her net worth 4 years ago. She's undoubtedly made money as a political activist, but her sudden wealth is a reward for her hard and smart work. Or is she genuinely lining her pockets as a member of many boards of corporations?